Hello, and welcome to the Free Bin, the Toledo, Oregon Public Library's podcast. I'm Harrison.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're going to be going down a rabbit hole today.
Oh, boy.
So it's going to be, I think, brief. We'll see.
Just like
But I've
Alice.
got some tangents. Yes. I'm late for a very important date.
Uh-oh.
But before we do that, of course, Cindy has the announcements.
I do. Yay. So we have a lot going on at the library, and it's important to us that you know what all of those things are because they're very different from each other. They're not all the same kind of programming, and we want to be sure that the word gets out. So what I am going to tell you about first is our cool thing from the Public Library Association and AT&T. We have our free digital workshop, digital literacy workshops here at the library. We have one coming up. There's two of them, actually. They're the same, but one's at night and one is during the day. And they're for cybersecurity. And it's a quick, easy lesson, workshop, hands-on kind of thing to help you walk through keeping your computer or your device safe from the computer gremlins that are out there.
A lot of gremlins.
The what?
A lot of gremlins.
A lot of gremlins that want to make your life chaos. They're chaos gremlins. And so we're going to go through that. One is February 20th, which is next Thursday at 6 p.m. here at the library. The other one is February 27th. That's a Thursday at 3 p.m. And they're about an hour and a half long if you allow for questions and answers. And we want to get people feeling confident that they are computer people. Mm-hmm. And then starting in February, we also have Family Digital Donuts. And there will be donuts.
There will be donuts.
And these are 3 classes that are geared toward parents and kids. So if you are a little concerned about your kiddo on the internet, on a device or on a tablet or on a laptop or a desktop computer, we want you to bring your kid and bring your device if you can, or use one of ours, and you're going to learn together how to do basic internet stuff. The first one is Saturday, February 22nd from 10 to 11:30. It's basic internet basics. It's how to identify a good website, how to know what's safe and what's not on those websites. It gives you some good clues. We've had good feedback from those workshops in the past, and so this one is really geared towards kids and parents. So that's the first one. And then we have one in March, and that's cybersecurity. And we have one in April, which is mobile device basics, so Androids and iPhones, and keeping your kiddo safe on those and learning how to really get the most out of your device. If all you have is an iPhone or an Android, that's your link to the internet, then let's get you working on it in the most efficient way possible.
Cindy knows iPhones, and I know Androids. So
right, and we do not cross.
Yeah. Don't cross the streams.
I get on an Android, I can't even turn it on. I don't even know how to get the screen going. It's really pathetic. So my microphone keeps falling. That's why we have these weird
odd pauses where Cindy's microphone is sagging a bit. So I may go grab a counterweight.
Yeah, and here I am just sinking worse down in my chair, trying to keep up with it. So we also have, hey, if you are interested in Dungeons and Dragons, we have room in a group that we have going now on Friday nights. A couple more people could sign up and be a part of that. The campaign has just started. You're welcome to drop in and see what it's all about. We meet Fridays at 4. Our dungeon master is Seth Urbanik, and he is a volunteer here at the library. But if you're interested and you can't do a Friday night, let us know, because we have other people who are interested who've said, hey, I can't do Fridays, but I could do maybe a different time. So be sure and let us know. And this is for anybody.
Yes.
We try to keep it to high school and up, simply because it's a late night. It can be a late night, but also because D&D is a little tricky to play if you're little and you don't have somebody sitting there with you helping you through it. So So D&D is a good one. And then Denise has planned a spring break for kids. She's got so much going on that's so cool, and we'll talk about that more as it gets closer. Yeah. So just put spring break on your calendar, and just remember to check in with the library, see what we got going on.
Yeah.
I think I covered all the announcements.
All right. I think we're ready to proceed because we have secured Cindy's microphone with a redundant copy of Executive Orders by Tom Clancy.
Right.
And a nylon rope, so it should not be sagging anymore.
That's right. It seems to be okay. Now I have to sit up nice and tall. I can't slouch in my chair.
I can get a lighter Tom Clancy book.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't think there is one.
Yeah, they're all pretty thick. He was very thorough.
That's right.
So before we start with our going down our rabbit hole, I did bring some Nesquik.
Woo!
And I've never had this kind of Nesquik. It's not strawberry milk. It's banana strawberry milk.
Oh, boy.
Shake those up.
I wonder, is it artificial banana? Because I'm not sure.
Let me look. I didn't even think to look.
Oh, no, I just wondered. It really doesn't seem to have any fruit in it.
Artificial and natural flavor. So it's got probably just whatever that ester
whatever the
flavor of banana.
All right, now you got to get it open.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
It's
get that far.
child-proofed.
It's child-proofed.
There we go.
There. All right. I got mine.
Okay. I want mine shook up really good. So it's strawberry
banana. It smells like a strawberry banana thing.
I wonder if it's like a smoothie taste. Not much strawberry.
No. It's a little milder
and not
than
much
I was expecting.
banana.
No. It's very milk forward.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be more aggressive than that.
Yeah.
Banana usually kind of takes over when you put the artificial banana in.
Well, you get further down, it's okay. It's very milky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's got protein, though, 14 grams of protein. I remember drinking. So did you ever drink Nestle's Quick?
Yes.
So the powder in the can that you had to pry the top off of? Mm-hmm. Oh, man, nostalgia. We used to have Nestle's Quick at my house. It was a treat because there's a lot of us and not a lot of money.
Yeah.
But chocolate milk was like, I love chocolate milk. I don't drink a ton of milk now, but I love chocolate milk. And, oh, man, I remember those days of my mom giving us Nestle's Quick.
Oh, yeah.
We never liked the strawberry. We only liked the chocolate.
Well, my apologies.
No, I don't mind the strawberry.
Plus
banana. Don't apologize for, Nestle Quick. I'll take it home and let somebody drink it. Somebody other than me drink it. But did you ever have Tang?
I don't think I ever did have
drink
Tang.
Of astronauts.
Right, the powdered orange.
Yeah, so it was like Kool-Aid, only not. It came in a big can, and I can see the can. It was like green with orange letters, but Tang was cheap. Mm-hmm. And my mom was on a budget with 4 kids and my dad's salary. She was at home. Mm-hmm. And so we had Tang, and we had powdered milk. And I don't mind powdered milk. I just remember Mom would just make it and we would drink it because that's what you did. But as we got more prosperous, the Tang but Tang reminds me of camping because my mom used it at camping all the time. Yeah. We'd go out and there'd be a big pitcher of Tang on the table, and it has a really distinctive icky flavor.
Is it weird of me to think that Tang and powdered milk might go well together, be like a creamsicle thing?
Orange milk. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Haven't seen that Nesquik flavor yet.
That's true. No, have you ever had milk and Coke?
No, I remember Pilk was a bit of a meme a few years back, the Pepsi milk.
Yeah, milk and Coke was from Laverne and Shirley. Remember, she drank Coke and milk all the time. It's a unique flavor. It's kind of a Coke milkshake thing.
Denise introduced us to dirty sodas. I think that's what they're called.
I don't know.
I guess it's like a Utah thing. Originally that spread where you take
dirty sodas.
Yeah, you take your soda, you take like Dr. Pepper and put non-dairy creamer in it.
Oh.
Yeah, and lime.
Well, there's a thing in Montana. I've never seen them called this anyplace else. Lewistown, Montana. Shout out to Lewistown. They won't listen to this, but there's a great diner there. So there's a drive-in, like really nostalgic kind of drive-in. And in Lewistown during the summer, it gets super hot, and it's up in the mountains, but still, it's a heat thing. And we would drive in. We were at a camp there. We'd drive in and get Hottentots. Have you ever heard of a Hottentot?
No, not in this context.
A Hottentot is a cinnamon Coke.
Oh.
And I've had like Mexican, spicy Mexican drinks, like from when I get a coffee or something, you can get like I don't remember what they call it, but it's got that spice to it. So Hottentots are cinnamon Cokes, and they are so good. And I have tried to recreate them, and I cannot recreate it. It's like a combination of the fountain drink and whatever amount of cinnamon syrup they put in it. It is just so good and so refreshing, which is weird, but it's got a nice bite to it.
Yeah.
And I really do. I miss the Hottentots of my youth.
It does sound good. I got to try to track that down now. I got to go to this place.
Yeah. You need to go to Lewistown, Montana. It's beautiful, beautiful country. And rolling hills up by the mountains are like Julia Mountains or something. They're kind of a woman's name. Beautiful place. Just really nice, friendly people.
Big Sky, Spicy Coke.
Big Sky and Spicy Cokes. That's what you get from Lewistown. And it's right next to like the Home Depot type stores.
Oh, nice. There you go.
I know. So I can tell you how to get there. I don't remember the name of the road, but I can tell you how to get there.
Fantastic. All right. Nesquik on the bottle. Yeah. We have, of course, our Nesquik rabbit. And we're going down
the rabbit hole. I see what you did there.
We're going to start
okay
with a blues singer in England, and we're going to end up at a puppet show in Portland, Oregon.
Well, okay. I'm ready for this. I'm ready.
This was years of passive curiosity on my part that over the period of a couple of lunch breaks in the past week, I followed to what I consider a reasonably satisfying conclusion.
Okay.
But I'll let you tell me.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Long John Baldry?
No.
Okay. Long John Baldry was an English blues singer. He was in that same scene that like Elton John and Rod Stewart.
Okay.
And he was in that milieu.
70s?
Yeah, 60s, 70s.
Okay.
You may, if you're not familiar with his songs, you may be familiar with him a couple other ways. For me, it's because he was the voice of Dr. Robotnik on The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, the cartoon that had Jaleel White as Sonic.
Okay.
And I grew up with that. Long John Baldry played Dr. Robotnik in that iteration of Sonic.
Okay.
And I didn't watch Family Matters much as a kid, but I did watch the cartoon. So to me, Jaleel White is not forever Urkel. He's forever the best Sonic.
He's Sonic.
So the other thing that he's kind of tangentially known for, the Elton John song "Someone Saved My Life Tonight." You know that one?
Yeah.
So that's it was released in 1975, I believe, but it was about an incident in 1968. Elton John attempted to kill himself. He left the gas on, but he left the windows open. So he was unsuccessful. So, and some of his close friends, discovered this, rallied around him, and it was Long John Baldry who sat with him that night and talked with him and convinced him to kind of change the trajectory of his life a little bit. So Bernie Taupin, who of course wrote the song, from Elton John's perspective, Long John Baldry is the someone. Long John Baldry is Sugar Bear.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who saved Elton John's life that night.
I'm going to have to go listen to that song now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the song we're going to be talking about today, I didn't know that until this was all kind of Wikipedia.
Yeah, so
around.
we've wandered quite a ways from. We're still in the blues era, though.
We're still in the blues era. So the song in question is a song called Don't Try to Lay No Boogie-Woogie on the King of Rock and Roll. Do you know this song?
No, I don't, but now I want to.
What I'm going to do, this was Long John Baldry's biggest hit in the United States from 1971.
Okay.
I'm going to play you some of Long John Baldry's version. I'm going to pause the recording. I'll provide a link to the show notes because we'll get taken down if we have copyrighted music in our podcast. So I'll play that quickly. Go ahead and find Baldry's version of this song in the show notes, and then we'll proceed. 3, 2, 1, break. All right, so we've just listened to Long John Baldry's Don't Try to Lay No Boogie-Woogie on the King of Rock and Roll. Your thoughts, Cindy?
I like it. It's real classic blues, though, and boogie-woogie. It's got that beat and that rhythm, that chord progression. I like it. It's kind of funky.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just a drivey old rock and roll song. It's funny. It's the narrator of this song is like a comically overconfident man, just kind of condescending to the second person listener kind of in this humorous ways. It's funny. It's good. It's just a fun song. So it's one of my favorite songs of all time. And I discovered something when I was listening to this a while back. So if we look at the credits, we're listening to this on YouTube. There are all the people involved: chorus, piano, tenor, producer, Rod Stewart, writer.
Where's the writer?
Way down at the bottom. Jeff Thomas.
Wrote the song? Oh.
So I got curious. Who's Jeff Thomas? This Jeff Thomas. There are millions of Jeff Thomases. So I did a little looking around and found that the year prior, that Jeff Thomas released the original version of this song on a record. There's also a more recent Jeff Thomas, different Jeff Thomas. So if you're looking for Jeff Thomas on Spotify, you're not really going to find this Jeff Thomas. There's like a newer singer-songwriter guy. But I'll play you a little chunk of the original Jeff Thomas record, which Baldry's great. I love Jeff Thomas's original version. It's pretty markedly different. So I'll give a quick pause here. 3, 2, 1, break. Click the link. And we're back. So different, swingier.
Yeah, it's a little funkier. So kind of the first one was more blues, that da-na-na-na kind of blues. And this has a little more funk to it. And I like it. It's clearer. His voice is a little easier to understand, the lyrics, and then it's not as gravelly like he has a cold or smokes.
Not as affected kind of.
Yeah. So there's that gravel, and blues is like that. There's that meant to be growly sound.
Yeah. And so I got curious, what else did Jeff Thomas do?
Okay, now we're taking a turn.
Now this is where we're at the mouth of the rabbit hole. We're in the event horizon of the rabbit hole, which light cannot escape from.
Okay, here we go. So
I found a couple other little records that Jeff Thomas had done, but I didn't really dig until recently. How did his song get picked up by Long John Baldry? What cachet did he have? What was his deal?
Right.
To put it simply.
Right.
So I did some looking around. Didn't find a whole lot. Except I eventually found a death announcement.
Okay.
From 2020.
See, this is what research librarians do.
Yes. So this is what I do when I'm on lunch.
That's right.
If I'm not when I'm at home on my phone, right?
Right.
So I found the obituary at the Acre Davis Funeral Home in Georgia.
Okay.
Jeffrey Douglas Thomas. Jeff Thomas passed away in Ormond Beach, Florida on Saturday, October 17th, 2020, following a brief illness.
Okay.
It goes on through some of his work. In 1962, Jeff moved to Los Angeles to embark on a long and fascinating career in the entertainment industry. He worked as a singer, actor, writer, voiceover artist, disc jockey, and comedian. A voiceover artist, coincidentally, perhaps, since the guy who famously covered a song also did some voiceover work.
Okay.
So he wrote the seminal rock hit, "Don't Try to Lay No Boogie-Woogie" on the king of rock and roll, a saying that would become quite a catchphrase for the times. I'm quoting all this from The Funeral Home. Later to be recorded by Long John Baldry. And he was the primary music critic for the Hollywood Reporter.
Oh, wow.
So he, not like a famous guy, but he was working in the entertainment industry a lot.
He's still working guy.
I do want to mention really quick here that I can't independently verify every claim made in the funeral home's obituary about Jeff Thomas. I couldn't find another reference to him being a member of the New Christie Minstrels, which they mention in there, and I couldn't also find a record of anything he had written for the Hollywood Reporter. This doesn't mean these things are inaccurate necessarily, but this is just what was in the obituary, and the core of the story I was able to verify to my satisfaction. But, take things with a grain of salt and trust but verify, as they say. So then I found, moving back up earlier in his biography here, in August 1959, the Thomas family moved to Portland, Oregon. He was born in 1942.
Okay.
And he went to college in Vancouver, Washington as a voice major and at Vancouver State College's School of Music. He went on to work in local television in Portland, becoming well known for playing numerous characters on 2 popular children's television shows and also as a puppeteer.
All right.
Okay. And he was in bands here, there, in Portland too.
Right.
There's no mention in this of what shows those were. So I started looking what shows did Jeff Thomas do puppets on? And this would have been a narrow window between very late 50s and early 60s.
Right.
And I kind of hit a brief, not quite a dead end, but the opposite of a dead end, where there were so many beloved children's show hosts in Portland during over the years that I had trouble narrowing this down. Right. I mean, you had Rusty Nails, you had Addie Bobkins, Dr. Zoom, you had a bunch of these Portland.
Was it Ramblin' Rod?
Ramblin' Rod,
Ramblin' Rod, I remember that.
So I was able to narrow it down by time frame.
Okay.
And I just started Googling Jeff Thomas alongside the names of various other performers in that sphere. And I found a mention on the Addie Bobkins, that's Bob Adkins, he was a local children's host, the Addie Bobkins Facebook page by the daughter of Bob Adkins.
Okay.
Who mentioned Jeff Thomas passed away. This was in 2020, who was a regular on Dad's show. So I found he was on the Addie Bobkins show as a regular cast member. Okay. Addie Bobkins was on KPTV. Okay. So that narrows it down further.
Right.
He's probably same network.
Right.
So I did some more Googling around with the other children's show hosts. Dr. Zoom died in 2012.
Okay.
So again, just Google search Jeff Thomas, Dr. Zoom.
Dr. Zoom.
Dr. Zoom. His name was George A. Ross Jr.
Okay.
I found another funeral announcement.
Oh, no.
For George A. Ross Jr.
Okay.
Right down at the bottom of the guest book, there's an entry in 2012 from Jeff Thomas saying, "I've never worked with a nicer guy."
Oh.
So I found Jeff Thomas's comment on Dr. Zoom. So there it is. Dr. Zoom and Addie Bobkins.
Yeah. Wow.
So we've gone from this fun song by Long John Baldry.
Right.
And through Wikipedia and Google, through Dr. Robotnik saving Elton John, to
Wow.
Jeff Thomas, who also, last thing, he played Dolly Parton's husband in 9 to 5, was Jeff Thomas.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, now I have to watch that movie.
So I went down a rabbit hole, a lot of weird little side channels that I don't know. It's not a cohesive story I'm telling here. I just kind of ended up chasing this back to... I didn't know that this story had a tie-in so close to home. Because I've been listening to that song for years and never thought about who or where or what.
Well, it's interesting, too, how much information you can glean from obituaries and Wikipedia. And, I mean, obviously, Wikipedia is not going to be really accurate all the time, and you have to watch out for that. But IMDb, those kinds of things, there's a lot of internet. The internet is vast and huge and can be used for good. Like finding out that Jeff Thomas was a puppeteer in Portland during the heyday of children's entertainers, which brings me back. My husband has a connection to Rusty Nails.
Oh, tell us.
Well, I'm not really sure. We need to have him here.
Okay, we'll bring him.
But I think he went to the Rusty Nails show.
Okay.
To a taping of it, I think, and I could be wrong, but he as a kid he had red hair, and Rusty Nails I think had red hair too. I think there was something there, but so there's that connection in that Portland connection, and living in the valley and growing up there. But it's fascinating what you can find out, and so if you have a really obscure thing, talk to Harrison.
Rusty Nails was the name inspiration for Krusty the Clown when Matt Groening
Oh, really?
did
Oh, that's funny.
Because it was funny that this clown had this kind of weird, disturbing name.
Right.
Although the voice that Dan Castellaneta does is more directly from Bob Bell's version of Bozo.
Yeah.
So many clowns.
So many clowns. I don't know. Well, I happen to like clowns. I don't mind them. But I think that they have made a terrible... that the television and movies have done a terrible disservice to clowns because I love if you are a circus person, and I love to go to the circus, I love the clowns. They're funny and goofy, and they hit each other with large objects. So
I've come to enjoy a clown. I never was into clowns as a kid.
No.
But what's odd is as I got older and I started watching horror movies and you have the scary clowns.
There's always scary clowns.
I got more interested in legitimate clowns a little bit after that and started to appreciate it more. So the bad reputation of clowns kind of led me.
Right. And because because I'm married to the magical Mr. B. In case you're wondering why I keep bringing him up. And he has a huge network of friends that are entertainers. And he has some good friends that are amazing clowns that juggle and do tightrope and are slapstick funny and all of those things. But they're great people. And it's, I think, unfortunate that kids are like geared now towards clowns. I'm terrified of clowns, because really they're not scary. The movies have made them that way, and that's too bad. It all started with Stephen King, so we can blame him for it, which terrified me as a person. I don't like that movie. But I think it's unfortunate. And that might be something fun to talk about sometime on a podcast. Because locally in Oregon, there were a lot of people who really did some cool stuff on television. I mean, I remember Ramblin' Rod, and now, the sponsors and all of that they had. I remember those days.
I wonder who's got tapes out there.
Oh, I gotta think that the guys at the television station have archives, just like libraries have archives. I'm sure that there's somewhere you could pick up at least to find out who has them. A television station's got to keep those things digitally. Yeah, you would think it's a history.
Yeah, it's a memory that a bunch of people have from childhood.
Right, and not so long ago. I mean, we're talking the 60s and the 70s. And I'm sorry, folks, that's not that long ago.
I did want to share one little line from the death announcement from the funeral home for Jeff Thomas.
Okay.
as Jeff's dear friend Rick Sandak describes, Jeff was a big man with a big heart and soul imbued with the comforting presence of a big burly Saint Bernard. And his great friend Wally Dalton said, heaven just got funnier.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, I like that.
It seems like he was a really well-loved person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like...
what a life lived.
Yeah. And it's like one of these cases where I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who know very well who Jeff Thomas was, but he was one of these guys who was famous at the point and in a way where like I didn't know his name and yet have brushed against all sorts of things that he had a hand in. The not knowing there's this guy, Jeff Thomas, who's toiling away like so many people working in entertainment, whose names and faces you might not immediately recognize, but they're part of a bunch of stuff that you love. Yeah,
it's interesting because we have a celebrity culture, and I'm going to go out there and, unpopular opinion, celebrities are not working actors. Okay, so someone like there's a guy, I think he has passed away now, but he played Gul Dukat in Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't think of his name. I've met him. I met him at a Star Trek convention. Yes, I am that nerdy.
I just looked it up. Mark Alaimo. He is alive. He's 82 years old.
He was in tons of shows. So if you go back into the 70s, like Hawaii Five-0, the Manics, the ones with Rock Hudson that they had I can't remember, but they had that mystery movie, Saturday Night Mystery Movie. He's in so much of those things. He's a working actor, or was a working actor. And now there are people who are like that. You get your stars who are big and who are, Chris Evans and the Tom Sellecks of the world who are still working, but there's a lot of little guys that are just doing their job. They're making a living in the entertainment industry. And like you said, you may not know who they are, but you see them and go, oh, that's who that is, So it's an interesting, you did a deep dive into an interesting subject that we could probably talk about a lot of stuff. And it's like that 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Is that what it is?
I didn't do that with Jeff Thomas. I should
you could have connected him to Kevin Bacon.
I mean, with 9 to 5 alone, I'm sure there are only a couple of jumps at most.
Probably, yeah. Huh. Well, now I have to go listen to that Elton John song, and I have to go watch 9 to 5.
And watch Sonic the Hedgehog.
And Sonic. I don't know. Can you get the original Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons?
It's streaming somewhere,
is it?
I believe, because we have a regular rotation of the various Sonic series through the years.
Yeah. Sonic's. Come on. We like Sonic at our house, too. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for following me down.
Interesting rabbit hole. I might have to come up with one of my own.
All right.
That could be frightening, though.
Let's do it. I'm ready to be frightened.
All right.
All right. See y'all next week.
Bye.
The Free Bin is a production of the Toledo Public Library, which is part of the Lincoln County Library District in beautiful Lincoln County, Oregon. Writing by Harrison Baker, Cindy Balek, and Denise Marsh. Original music and editing by Harrison Baker. That's me. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect those of any organizations they represent. Good night.